So taking the blogs and sort of the first person identity, you're no longer hiding behind a character or sort of trying to dissolve into somebody else's legend or anything like that. You're actually, it's a new kind of stage identity for you.
Yeah, very, very much so. And I mean, it always blurs. There's always an element where it's autobiographical. Right. There's always an element.
Right. But this one more than others. I mean, this is more nonfiction than fiction.
Right. So. Now people can legitimately attack me personally.
Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it, I guess. And why do you keep coming back to the Fringe? I mean, what is it about the Fringe that you find valuable to your process? I mean, you do things throughout the rest of the year, too. I mean, you're mounting new pieces and resurrecting old ones and reworking them, but you do keep coming back to the Fringe as often as your ping pong ball comes up in the lottery. So what is it about it that you find useful, that you find valuable?
There's so many things about the Fringe. I mean, there's the fact that there's the community, for one thing. There's the fact that it seems like everyone, even tangentially in the arts, for the month of August is in the Fringe. I sort of love the chaos of it, I think. I love the just coming in, having to load in, load out, run in between venues, nearly get in traffic accidents. I mean, that's half the fun for me. I thrive on that, and I think it's just I love the fact that there's such an even keel for everyone. And I mean, of course there isn't really, because everyone's got a history, everyone's got an audience.
But when you say even keel, you mean?
I mean that no one gets special treatment, that everyone goes in. And even if you have an audience, that only gets you so far in an actual performance. I think like for the first 5 minutes, people will sort of react to who you are and what you're doing. And then after that, you've got to have something to say, or they're going to lose interest.
So it's a challenge. So everybody has to make sure that they're holding the audience's attention.
Exactly. Which is part of what I'm looking forward to with this, as a solo show is, you work with ensembles, you sort of hide behind the script, you do all these different things, and this is. I'm looking forward to the challenge of it, of just seeing, can I still walk on stage and be interesting for an hour?
Mm-hmm. And why did you decide to sort of take on that challenge now at this point? I mean, having done all of these different things, what gets you to return to expressing yourself like that?
I had a good story, I think, because I mean, I've sort of toyed with the idea of doing autobiographical stuff for a while, and I just thought I don't have anything interesting, that I've not led an interesting life. I don't think anyone thinks they do, but it was when I was doing all this traveling and I talked to people about it, and they would think it was so compelling, and so I'd just say, oh, this happened. People would just hang on every word, and I thought, well, maybe there is a show here. Maybe this is interesting. Maybe this is. So I'll give it a try. I really do believe in the story. I believe that the story's interesting. If it fails, it'll fail because I found a way to screw it up. But, I know that the story is really interesting. Okay. This isn't some dreadful, slides of my vacation, wacky stories about my family thing. There's substance there. There's interesting stuff going on historically.
Okay. And do you think it's something that people aren't normally exposed to in terms of the different culture and the history, or is it just that the slant is different and you're coming at it from a different direction, presenting it differently?
Little of both. I think I'm definitely going to try to milk the multicultural angle for all that it's worth on this marketing-wise. But I think I do have a unique perspective, and I think I have a unique perspective because I'm biracial. And I think that's something I was not really conscious of growing up, but as an adult, I sort of realized that there were a lot of things about my upbringing that I have this totally obsessive focus on things like career and family, that I have, and that for me growing up, I think a big difference between me and other kids was the fact that other kids would look at the world as like this big, scary place that was full of dangerous things that intimidated them. And for me, the rest of the world was a place that I could go one day if I wanted to. Have my families all over the world. Half my immediate family's in the U.S., and then everyone else is they're in Canada, they're in Australia, they're in China, they're they're everywhere but here. So,
So the world is not a foreign place to you. The world is actually home.
I mentioned to you earlier, I have a dual citizenship. I'm an Australian citizen and a U.S. citizen. I'm the child of a Chinese father and an Australian mother of British descent. I'm a little of everything. So,
So the show is going to be going on at Patrick's Cabaret. Is that
Patrick's
that's
Cabaret?
the venue?
That is correct.
And if people are looking for information on it, they can go to the Fringe website. There'll be a page there, and then you have a website for the company as well, and that's
MaximumVerbocityOnline.org.
Okay, cool. So they can find more information there as well. Well, thanks a lot for coming in and talking to us about it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've got up your sleeve this time.
Well, so am I.